So here's the thing, guys. I actually filmed the talking parts before I cut my hair, and then I cut my hair, and then I filmed the other parts. So there's like a mix of short hair clips and long hair clips, and so it's just gonna be a hodgepodge. I'm sorry. What is up, my dudes? Today we're going to be talking about my favorite thing to rant on, and that is cliches in books. Today we're going to be focusing exclusively on book openers, or cliche ways in which a story can begin. Quick disclaimer, I do not inherently hate these cliches. Every trope has to start somewhere, so if a book was one of the first ones to use the trope, I don't mind the trope at all. Second of all, if you can put an awesome spin on a trope and create something totally new and interesting with it, I don't mind. Go at it. Second of all, these are my opinions, and if you don't agree with them, so what? You can place a respectful disagreement in the comments, but please don't go on a violent rampage over this. That being said, I'm about to get angry about my 10 least favorite ways that books open. Let's go!
Ring, ring. Amber woke up to the sound of her alarm clock and immediately turned it off. She groaned, pushed herself up onto her elbows, and stretched her back.
Ah! I should not even have to repeat this one at this point, and yet here I am. How do I put this? Don't start your book with an alarm clock. Listen, it is perfectly fine to start your story in the middle of the day, or in the middle of an event even. All the good books do. Think there's a way to turn an alarm clock scene into an interesting hook for your story? Think again! This also includes parents waking your character up.
Sweat ran down Amber's face. The man was standing only a few feet away, holding a rifle at her chest. Amber swung the knife out of her boot, and she flung it at the man. It embedded itself in his thigh. He screamed and fired the handgun, forcing Amber to duck. She fell to the ground, but all of a sudden it wasn't the ground. It was her desk. She was in math class, and she really needed to stop falling asleep.
There is nothing interesting about this trope. All it does is let your readers down. If your story has action, and you think it's imperative that your readers know, start your book with that action. Don't bait your readers with immediate action only to rip it away from them and place them in a mundane setting. Trust me, they won't like it. Quick break from video for a moment. There is a wasp in my room. I don't want to deal with wasp right now. I haven't heard him in a minute. We're just gonna pretend that I didn't hear him at all.
Amber ran away from the monster, not daring to look back. Her porcelain nightgown caught on a twig and she screamed as she collapsed. She waited for death, but instead felt a boy's hand. "Come with me if you want to live," he said.
Don't lie to yourself. You've read this trope before. And if you wrote when you were younger, you've most likely written this trope before. It's strange how often this exact series of events takes place at the start of novels. I hesitate to place this one alongside the dream/daydream trope because sometimes this cliched opener is used to begin a fantasy story in which the girl running in a nightgown is the reality of the world. Most of the time, however, this one is paired with the dream/daydream trope, and it makes me want to die. Bonus points if the girl has long blonde hair, by the way.
Amber's palms sweated as she waited for the ceremony to begin. The giant bowl in the middle of the stage was making her nervous. She gulped and looked to her uncle, who smiled at her and gave her a reassuring gesture. Today was the day that Amber was going to be sorted into her career and live out the rest of her life. She didn't want this life, but it's what the government had in store for her. She tentatively chose one out of the bowl. The paper said, "Your new job is dog shit picker-upper." She half felt like crying, and half felt like starting a rebellion would be a brilliant idea.
Ah, the good old dystopian destiny, my favorite! Shit's the wasp. This one encompasses any book in which a young protagonist, most likely female, is having a huge life decision forced upon her and she's trying to come to terms with it. This could be a career, a place to live, or a significant other. It doesn't really matter. The point is, the government's making her do it and she has no choice. Because it's 2089, the world's run by psychopaths, gosh darn it! Bonus points if the name of the ceremony and the government are capitalized.
The servant bowed before speaking. "My lord, the plans are all in order." The Dark Lord spoke. "Excellent. Everything is going according to plan. All I need to do now is sit back and wait. And then he pulled out a gun and shot the servant, because that's what Dark Lords do.
Oh, come on! This one, it just cracks me up at this point. I don't care about your villain's vague, evil scheme. If I'm not given any context around the prologue, and if the prologue isn't unique from other stories, I just don't care about it. If your plot would still move along swimmingly without the prologue, cut it. All this intro is going to do is tell your readers how bland and unoriginal your story is.
Amber was the most normal girl you'll ever meet. She's super skinny but still has a nice hourglass figure. Her hair is golden, her eyes are green, she has a perfect smile. Her only flaw is her birthmark, which is on the back of her neck where no one can ever see it. Still, she's super self-conscious. She goes to the most normal high school that anyone can ever imagine and lives a normal life. She's smart, but not too smart. After all, she is average.
There is nothing wrong with being average, but this trope loves to show you how unaverage a person is and then assure you that they're average. And if the main character does happen to be perfectly average, the story is going to be pretty boring because everyone has a personality that makes them just a little off normal. Basically, just don't make your characters boringly average, and don't tell us that your character's average when they're obviously not. Give them quirks in the first few pages that make them stand out from every other character that your readers have read about.
The sky was gray and the clouds were rolling in. It was starting to rain again. The raindrops hung from the tree branches like little crystals. Amber sat by the window and stared into the sky, wishing that the sun would return soon.
Oh, if I wanted to fall asleep, I would have picked up Twilight. This beginning drives me insane. Unless the weather is a tornado and your characters are running for their lives, I don't really care what's going on in the sky today. Discuss the weather after I've begun to create a connection with your characters and after I'm invested in the story, okay? Okay.
What would it be like to fly? Amber could only imagine. To be able to jump off a high place and know that the wind would catch you. To ride it like there was nothing holding you back, and to feel the breeze in your hair. It must be so freeing. But for now, Amber had chores to do.
Yeah, I really don't care. I'm not going to be invested in your story because your character decided to think about something. I'm there for the action, the romance, the drama. So just get it started and stop wasting page space on some random thoughts that your character decided to have because you thought they would sound cool.
Amber stared at her reflection in the mirror. She examined her face for pimples and found none. She had pale skin, the kind that came from staying inside too much. She then looked at her nose. It was a bit large, but she already knew that. She then looked at her eyes for some reason. Yup, still green. She picked up a brush to brush her brown hair, which she already knew was brown, of course.
This is just a poor attempt to give us the exact details of what your character looks like, and I doubt I'll even remember them. Once again, I don't care. What is your character doing? Why are they examining themselves? Why aren't they out doing something more interesting at the beginning of your novel? These are some good-ass questions. Bonus points if your character also describes what they are wearing, extra bonus points if your character thinks they're average when they're really not, and extra special bonus points if your character just woke up with an alarm clock. Don't get too many bonus points or I will jump off a fucking cliff. Oh no, the cliches!
Hi, my name is Amber, and I go by Amber. I'm currently packing for school. I do not want to go to school. I get bullied all the time because I'm not an athlete. Instead, I'm in the D&D club. I always get straight Z's on my homework, which makes my parents upset. I'm 10 feet tall and weigh 24 ounces to be exact, and I have brown hair, not bright green hair like the popular kids. And I never shower because I'm afraid of soap. And I hate vegetables, so all I eat is dryer sheets, and I'm absolutely terrified of clowns, but only the ones with the word tricks up their sleeves, and...
Yeah, we get it. Your life's a mess. Sorry, that's just middle school. This is the trope that I don't think I could stand even when it was first put in a book. This trope cannot really be found in published novels, and there's a good reason why. First of all, we do not want your story to begin with, "Hi, my name is." Second of all, we do not need an info dump of all of your characters' problems on the first page. Please, for my sanity. And that is all. Thank you so much for showing up and watching me rant about book openings. Tell me if you agree or disagree in the comments. I'll respect your opinion. If you disagree with me, no worries. Don't forget to do all the YouTube things. I don't need to go through them, you know them. This is one of my more extensive projects, so tell me if you liked it down below so that maybe I can make more about fantasy or sci-fi or romance. And click the link down below if you would like to see my last video, which is all about the 7 types of books that every writer has written at some point in their lives. And I guess that's it. Until next time, may the gods of plot be ever on your side. I'm a little upset at the amount of actual effort I put into this. I need to get this shot quick. It's freezing out here. I lost my prop knife. You know, the kind that like squeezes in on its own, so this is like one real ass knife. So, wish me luck that I don't cut myself. Remember, you want to hook your reader. Think there's a way to make an alarm clock an interesting way to start your... I don't know what I'm saying. I can't speak. I can't remember what I'm supposed to say. Most of the time, however, this one is paired with the daydream/dream. That's wrong. Someone decided to call me. I don't really want to pick up right now because I'm trying to film. Oh shit, I missed it again. I can't get it open. Let's try that again. Oh, it fell! The sheet fell! Hello everyone, meet the sheet that is making sure my bathroom is lighted correctly. Lit correctly.